Hey, what's up YouTube friends? Alright, today I got comparison video between the Antix 1.0 and Antix 2.0, both smalls. Kind of give you some info here to, if you have a 1.0, is it worth it trading up to the 2.0? I'll kind of go over some just pros and cons of each and let you kind of figure that out for yourself. So just lay them side by side here. Obviously the 2.0 is a little longer. 1.0 is 7.4 and the 2.0 is 7.7. So about 3 inches longer there. You can see that on the tail. Just some other specs here, and I'll put those on my description of the video. But the 1.0 is 25, 2.0 is both, so they're both 25 in width. Power range, 1.0 they say 80 to 130, and the 2.0 is 90 to 160. And then gallon wise, the 1.0 is 56 gallons, 2.0 is 58, so only 2 gallons difference. And then only a 1 pound difference in actual weight. The 2.0 is 34 pounds and the 1.0 is 33 pounds. So again, just do a walk around here and look at them. It's gonna do it outside, but it's so sunny, you might not be able to see with the camera. You can see the contrast in the bow rocker. The 2.0 definitely has more bow rocker, sharper bow rocker. You can also see on this front view the cockpit, and that was really the main complaint on the 1.0. Your knees get pressed down so much. You can see on the 2.0 they kind of fixed that with the cockpits raised up more. Again, here's a side view of how the cockpit is more raised. Looks about like an inch or so, maybe an inch and a half higher than the 1.0. Going around to the tails, obviously big contrast in the way that sterns are made. The 1.0 is very sharp, very wide at the hips, and comes back very sharp, where the 2.0 is kind of just gradually comes back more like a normal half slice these days. They both kind of have some lines here. Shed some water. You can see that on 1.0 right here. Grab handles are a little different. They have these old kind of coated metal ones, where the new ones have just a straight metal. Depending on the year of the 1.0, the outfitting is a little different. You get the new Jackson kind of design outfitting and the older gray outfitting, but they're honestly pretty much the same. I actually like this gray back band better though. It's a little thinner and less like bulky. Like, so when you get in here on the 2.0 and all these, and this new outfitting, this always comes up so high it pushes the skirt up because it's so big. And this is just smaller and kind of, it still works just as well. I've actually noticed that Dane has the gray back band in his boats if you watch closely on his video, so you know, something to think about. But everything else is pretty much the same. The pull bulkheads, pull strings for the thigh hooks and everything like that. See if anything other differences as far as the design, I mean the quality of the build, pretty much the same. Still a small kind of thing here, you know, it's hard to get it ran on the small Jackson boats. I can't get on my small Rockstar, I have to have a bungee. Still got the GoPro mounts on both. So just getting into the kind of the differences again of the way the boat performs. The 1.0 has a flatter, it feels just wider, even though they're both the same width. If you kind of look at it from the top view here, you can see the 1.0 just looks wider because it's so pressed down. And I'll get in here and kind of show you. Take my shoes off here. It's kind of painful, to be honest. It's not terrible, but if you're in here for a long time, you can see just right here, it's pressed down a lot on my hips, a lot on my knees and hips. It does feel small, feels like a toy for me. I'm at the top of the weight range, I guess, but I've paddled this plenty of times and had no issue like getting back in or anything like that, no more than the 2.0 at least. But yeah, it gives you, kind of shows you where my knees are on this one. And I'll get in this one. Definitely have a lot more room for error in the bulkhead, meaning like if you're taller, you can definitely fit in the 2.0. 1.0 is pretty much maxed out as far as that's concerned. There's no more room to push the bulkhead back. But yeah, you can see how I got in there a lot easier. A lot more room in this area, which is important for safety. You know, if you got caught in a bad pin spot, that one, the 1.0, you know, you're gonna have to work to get out, where this one I can pretty much just, you know, get out pretty easily here. And that is important when you're going on steeper creeks and stuff like that. That's kind of the main difference of the interior of the boat per se. If we flip them over, look at the bottom of the boats here. You can blatantly see, automatically see the 1.0 is like pretty much flat across here. Really flat surface. This has some roundness to it, some shape to it, which helps with some secondary stability. So like when the first one you flip over, you're pretty much going over that, some more secondary stability. Now the first one though, it's hard to flip over, period, because it's just so flat. Where the 2.0 is a little easier. They're both stable boats, so kind of see the difference. The rails are fairly similar. I mean, the 2.0 has definitely got some sharper rails, but they're not bad. They're close. One other thing on the stern, the 2.0, they added this little bubble thing here. It's supposed to help with balancing, I guess, for when you're doing stern stalls and all that. I honestly don't find it that helpful. I kind of don't like it. It's kind of annoying. When you go for like a whip stern squirt, it actually sometimes prevents from going down because of this bubble here. Where that one, I can basically flip my hips and get it up vertical. Not that the 2.0 is hard by any means, but I don't know. I don't really find this that it helps all that much. I'd rather actually have it not there. As far as performance paddling, the 1.0s, I mean, it's shorter and flatter, so obviously it's going to paddle a little slower. It is slower than the 2.0, mainly due to that length in the flat surface on the bottom. Another thing you're going to get with the 2.0 is the better bow rocker. To get up and over holes, punch through holes. It's going to surface quicker going through holes, where the 1.0 is more kind of, it might plug more. So stern squirting wise, they're both fairly similar. For both of those, I kind of more have that whip style where I just kind of whip it around and get it up, versus like the ripper over there. You gotta let your stern load and kind of take your later stern stroke. But yeah, they're both easy. Not really much difference there, to be honest, in the smalls. Surfing wise, the 2.0 is definitely better. It's got some better rails. It's got the better bow rocker. And it's just overall better surfing boat. 2.0 is also a little easier to loop because it has a wider tip here, where the 1.0, it's shorter and you can loop it easier per se once you get in the air, but that rounded pointy bow wants to shed off to one side or the other, so you really have to kind of be perfect when you plug it. Where that one, you kind of have some leeway of where you go. You could cartwheel both, space guys both. It's pretty much maxed my skills out on those as far as play boating. But river running wise, the 2.0 is a little better. Like I said, it's a little faster. The length will carry through some holes better in the bow rocker. So if you're running creeks and bigger water, 2.0 is definitely better than the 1.0. And comfort wise, again, downriver, 2.0 is better as well. So I guess the question is, should you trade up, or is it worth it to trade up? Depends, you know. If you're a smaller paddler, I would say if you're like 120 or below, the 1.0 is probably a perfect boat for you, and you're probably not in a position where that knee placement's really going to hurt you all that well, and that's really the biggest thing, because they're both fun boats. They both go down river fairly well. You can both take them down big water pretty well. You know, is it worth selling a 1.0 for $600 or $700 and buying one of these for $1,400? I don't know. If you got the money, sure. If you're tight, I wouldn't say it's worth it necessarily. You know, obviously demo one. I always say demo boats before you buy if you can, but right now it's tough. But you know, like I said, you're not really gaining a ton going up. It is a better boat, don't get me wrong, but you know, is it worth $700, $800? Probably not at this point. Unless you got the money, sure, go for it. But yeah, that's pretty much my comparison. If you got any questions, let me know. I've paddled both extensively. That's my old boat. Somebody else owns it right now. It lives close to me. Let me borrow it for the review. But yeah, so there you go.